Hello guys, in this video I'll be talking to you about 3 ways you can handle overwhelm. Whenever you find yourself overly stressed and not knowing which way to turn, what to do, not feeling even capable to address the situation, I'm here to tell you and give you these 3 tips to really help you out. Now, it's important to take a breather. That's the first step. You have to take a step back from whatever the situation is. One of the things I like to do when it comes to taking a break is taking a walk. Listen, until I tried taking a walk, I never knew that walking in nature, walking in front of your house, walking around, the neighborhood can really be so effective. You're breathing in fresh air. For some of us that are home every day, it's really difficult to get fresh air unless even if you open the window, it doesn't circulate as much. But when you step out to a park or step out to walk around your neighborhood, you're able to breathe in fresh air. Oxygen goes into your lungs, and actually consciously breathe as you're walking. Count and hold your breath, and be conscious of your breathing. The breathing is something we do automatically, and God is so amazing, right? Because we breathe and we don't even think about it. We take it for granted. But in situations where there's overwhelm, you must become very conscious of your breathing. It reminds you that you are still alive, that life is still possible, that everything is still possible because you still have breath. So that's why I recommend taking a breather. Okay, so that's that. And then the next step will be for you to come back and write down, what am I overwhelmed about? See, we have a tendency of thinking, I'm tired, I've done this, I'm busy, I don't have time. We have those tendencies because we like everything so fast. And when it's not happening, we just tell ourselves, I can't because it didn't happen yesterday. But guess what? You sit down, you take a pen, you take a paper. If you don't have those available to you, which I'm an old school girl when it comes to writing and having a pen and paper everywhere I go. All right. It's different than just putting it in my phone. But if you don't have your pen and paper, use your phone and put in your notes as to why am I even overwhelmed? Like, why is this issue looking bigger than it is? What issue am I dealing with? Write it down. And with the breathing and the break, it will allow you to process very well and write it down. Once you write it, you'll come to find out, you'll discover that it's not as bad as you thought it was. We tend to magnify things, all right? And then after you do that, the last step, the third step that I recommend will be for you to pray, right? You need to pray over the stuff that you write down because there may be things that you can readily do, right? If it's a money issue, you may not have the money, but you can come up with a strategy. That's something you can do immediately. But if the money has to come from outside or an external source, then you leave it at the altar and you pray, God, bring me my helper. Does that make sense? So this is how you address your overwhelm. You see what the problem is. What could I do that's within my power, within my purview? And anything that I cannot do, I'm going to hand it over to God. So what happens is the stress is coming from the fact that you're trying to play God, but you reach your limit as a human. So once you reach your limit, you have to pause and allow God to be God in your life. But when we begin to play God, we get frustrated, we get stressed out, then we're overwhelmed. We use the word overwhelmed because we feel like we're swimming. But in the book of John, it talks about whatsoever is born of the Spirit. Whatsoever is anything that is born of the Spirit. So as you pray, the Spirit rekindles you. The Spirit increases you. Whatsoever is born of the Spirit will overcome the world. So there is something to overcome. Is this problem, this money problem, this marital problem, this parenting issue. It is a problem you need to overcome. And so because you are an overcomer, you will be able to overcome that thing, whatever it is. Nothing is too big for God. Nothing is impossible. And if you're breathing, you have a solution. That is it. You are still alive. You're still kicking. You can do it. All right. So that's just my 3 tips on addressing overwhelm. Because listen, in your desperation to talk to somebody, because we like to talk, Oh, I got a flat tire. Let me call somebody. Oh, I got this. Let me call. We like to call and talk. But if you're not careful, you will tell your story to somebody who does not need to hear it. If you're not careful, not everybody has the right to your pain story. Okay? So when you're going through and you're overwhelmed, this is a time that the Lord is pulling you into a secret place with Him to deal with you and work through certain things inside of you. If you jump to a human, if you jump to people automatically, don't get me wrong. There are things that, okay, I need a ride. Can you pick me up? Simple, right? So you may not even think like, let me talk to God about this. But for the most part, a lot of the things that we go through in life, speaking to Him does help. He gives you those strategies. The strategies that you get in prayer are strategies that are permanent, they're long lasting. And those are strategies you can trust. So be alert, be aware, be prayerful. Nothing is impossible to God. Again, this is your coach, Yeboah. I want you to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell